We understand that we have a witness on the phone standing by to talk to us. Keith Curley joins us now via telephone. Keith, tell us what you saw this evening and what you heard.
Well, this evening, I've already given my statement to the police and the detective, so I want you all to know this isn't some crackpot calling. Anyway, I pulled into the Walmart pharmacy into the inside lane behind another lady in a black car to pick up my prescription about 6:30, 6:33. To my right is a second lane, and then there's what's usually a break area. There's a picnic table and like 3 parking places to the right, which was about 15 feet from me. The assailant was pulled in to one of the parking places in his car. The policeman had pulled up and had his light on him, shining on him. He wasn't directly behind the car, but he was at about 2 o'clock. He shouted to the man in the car to get out of the car and put his hands up, but to get out of the car. He had the light shine on him. And then all of a sudden the guy opened the door and he began to shoot at the officer. And then the officer returned fire. And in fact, one went right by the back window of my car into the wall. And at that point, I, of course, went down, tried to get as low as I could. Then I got back up after the shooting kind of had stopped, and the man in the car had backed out and took off, and he hit the median, which is right there, went over it. That's why his wheel is so jacked up in the on the street and all. And the officer had been hit in the arm and had shot a couple of times, and I heard the windshield, but he shot, and the man was speeding out, sped out onto Cottage Hill. At that point, I was in the far lane, so I couldn't get out of my car because the wall was there for my door, and I yelled at the police officer if he was all right, and he said, yeah. I said, have you been hit? He said, yes, in the arm. I said, do I need to call someone? And he said, no, I'm calling now. And so at that point, he went over and got in his car, and then I just stayed right there in the pharmacy lane.
My goodness, what an experience. I mean, in terms of how many feet were you away from all this, you think?
I would say 15 feet. I was in the line of fire because the policeman wasn't directly behind him. He was up in the parking lot a little bit. That's why he was able to back out and take off. And he had his spotlight on him, and of course everybody in the pharmacy was down on the floor, I think. But that's what happened. I witnessed it all.
Are you able to see your television screen? Do you see the picture of this person of interest, this Devon Dubose?
I have.
Does that look like a suspect? Okay.
I could not see it in the car, inside the car.
Okay, we're going to go to Chief right now. Chief Batiste has an update for us.
Right now, we do have persons of interest. We gave you guys some information earlier of a young man that we thought was involved or was a suspect in this particular incident. We have taken that individual into custody at this time. We